Welcome to Commander Quickies, the video series where we take a specific aspect of Commander and crunch it into a 5-minute easy to watch video. I'm Joe Cherries of the Nitpicking Nerds, and today I'll be talking about Ranger of Eos. I'll be reviewing all the best cards to play alongside it, and some you might not expect. It's been widely agreed upon that white is one of the worst colors in EDH due to a lack of efficient card draw and mana ramp. It has solid removal, but has trouble finishing out games and getting more cards in hand. Firstly, Ranger of Eos searches for 2 cards, which is card advantage no matter how you slice it. Secondly, despite its 1 CMC restriction, it can find you creatures capable of ramping, answering threats, and ending the game very quickly. It's like a 1-card Swiss Army knife. It's not expensive with regards to mana cost or budget, has a solid body, an abusable enter the battlefield trigger, is easy to cast for decks of any colors, and helps to lower your deck's average CMC while increasing its power and consistency. This card is extremely underrated, appearing in only 1,531 decks according to EDH Rec. What cards can it find, and how are they worth including? Spore Frog. This card is deceptively good in a defensive and recursion based deck. It can easily lock out players from killing you if they can't exile it. Viscera Seer and Carrion Feeder. These are sacrifice outlets to protect your team from exile while gaining a marginal advantage as you do. Serra Ascendant. This card surprisingly has not been changed for EDH, functioning as a 1-mana 6/6 lifelink flyer most of the time. Having more ways to find this unique and aggressive creature makes any deck scarier and makes killing players much easier. Stitcher's Supplier, a rock-solid utility creature for graveyard decks that puts 7 cards in your graveyard if you include itself. Deathrite Shaman and Birds of Paradise. These are stand-ins for any mana dork that cost 1 mana. Walking Ballista and Hangerback Walker. Are you planning on going infinite or creating a token army, or just need to do something with all that mana you're generating? If so, try out one or both of these creatures alongside Ranger of Eos and you won't be disappointed. Dryad Arbor. If you desperately need to hit your land drop, or need a 0-mana creature to block with or sacrifice, grab this little fella. Caustic Caterpillar. Thanks to this card, Ranger of Eos can now find answers to artifacts and enchantments in green-white decks. Mikaeus the Lunarch. Another sneaky X-cost creature that's bigger than its mana cost would imply. Mikaeus can buff your whole team repeatedly, making him a must-answer threat. Thraben Inspector, the White Elvish Visionary. This woman single-handedly discovered the Eldrazi threat on Innistrad and used her card-drawing powers to defeat Emrakul armed with only a fistful of spaghetti. Goblin Welder. This is a disruptive dork who can trade your mana rocks for giant beaters or turn opposing giant beaters into mana rocks. Wirewood Symbiote and Heritage Druid. 2 more creature cards to grab in a green-white elf ball style deck that loves combos and casting a bunch of creatures. Mother of Ruins. One of the best ways to protect your creatures, although I wouldn't play it without a way to tutor it. Nephalia Smuggler. This has a pricey activation, but it's a good budget include for flicker decks, and lets you grab even more creatures off of Ranger. Weathered Wayfarer. And lastly, a card that can tutor lands if you didn't go first. Ancient Tomb, Temple of the False God, Nykthos Shrine to Nyx are common lands to grab if you're looking for ramp. What other cards work well with Ranger of Eos? This card fits into Flicker and Toolbox decks, as well as go-wide decks, and decks that rely on certain effects like sack outlets or combo-centric mana elves. Here are a few powerful cards that often show up alongside the Ranger. Birthing Pod. In decks with strong EDP synergy, this card is one of the best. Ranger gives you 2 1-mana creatures that can create new pod opportunities and get you into the true drops you need faster. Chord of Calling. Playing a 4-drop that gets 2 1-drops gives you 3 bodies to use to chord into a bigger, stronger threat. Panharmonicon. If you can grab 4 creatures with ETB abilities off a single trigger, you're living the dream. Recruiter of the Guard. This creature finds Ranger and anything Ranger would find as well, and can lead to a sort of loop of tutoring creatures by putting creatures into play. Ranger of Eos will fit into almost any strategy that wants creatures, and mitigates the weakness that white has as a color. You only need a couple of 1-drops to make it really shine, and once you add in those cheap but worthwhile creatures, your deck will run more smoothly and you'll find yourself casting more spells on average. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to tell us in the comments and subscribe to keep up with our tune-up and Commander Quickies. Special thanks to our patrons, Adam and Dustin. And if you want to become a patron, you can click on the link in the description. See you next time.